Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for Fantastic Four issue 29. And this was a pretty decent tie-in issue for what's going on with King in Black, and of course giving us the whole Fantastic Four perspective on it. Now, I I enjoyed this, but the thing is there's technically two kind of stories going on at once. We've got what's going on with like the aftermath of the whole Griever thing, and then tying it in with what's going on with the King in Black. And I don't mind those two intertwining. It's just it didn't work as well as I liked because I'm almost like I kind of wanted them to explore more of what's going on with Sky, Johnny, and Susan. And then of course Null stuff happens, and then it's like, oh shit, motherfucker, we got some problems. So they're pretty much trying to put everything back the way it was with Yancey Street, getting their home back up and running. Now, the thing is, they are able to get the building back into position, but since it was compressed, they did lose some extra dimensions, mainly figuring out that Johnny's room is gone, and they've only got one Fantastic car. And, of course, Reed uses this to get in contact with Valeria to see if she's got any spare supplies that she can send over, but they're using everything they can for the Forever Gate, and they've been able to do modifications where only the FF can utilize it 3 times like a month. So that kind of limitation is probably going to be an important kind of effect. But it's interesting that they have control over this, and it's pretty important, especially with what's going to be going on with the King in Black and Null doing all of his shit. And evidently, it was Bentley that pretty much came up with helping and designing what was going on for those limitations, and Valeria actually kind of gave him his due on that. So I was like, okay, we'll see kind of how that works. So this then sets off a little portion of the whole thing where Johnny and Sky pretty much make a date to go get new stuff because Johnny's like, that was all my stuff. And I don't mind getting Johnny into the role of his usual kind of like Vayner kind of aspects, but it seems like they kind of reset him back to like what he kind of used to do, even though we've seen him kind of grow over the course of the relaunch and everything that's been going on with also like Empire and all that. So it's just like, oh, okay, all right, because they're he's like, wow, I can't believe you're doing all this stuff, because they get some clothes, and evidently Sky's pretty much gotten a job, protects like her portion of the neighborhood, and she pretty much shows him what she likes on Earth, all these different kind of things. He's like, wow, this is pretty awesome. And she's pretty much talking about like how their soul bond and they're in tune. The thing is, she believes it, he doesn't, and that she wants him to kind of show him all this stuff that he loves about Earth. And they get into a thing about chocolate and these type of muffins that Sky has on Spire, and she's like, yeah, those are pretty good too. And then showing off her ability to communicate with the birds and everything, trying to be like, hey, these are my Twitter friends, and Johnny's like, that's not what it is. And of course, one of the birds whacks into Susan, and I know that they're trying to be like, Johnny is hurt that she would spy on him like this, and I'm just like, it's really kind of weird. I can understand being hurt by that, but the thing is, they know very little about Sky, and very little about what these bond things do to people. Do they get people in sync, or do they force people in sync? You know? And Susan's just like, honestly, he's like rattling off, you didn't do this with all these other people. It's like, your track record for dating, put it bluntly, is fucking horrendous. Like, I do not blame Susan for being like, I gotta make sure he doesn't, like, trip into a light socket. You know? Not because Johnny's dumb. It's just he's dumb sometimes, and his clumsy and / hot-headedness sometimes puts him into positions that will completely and utterly fuck him over. Granted, I understand this is also kind of like my older brother kind of perspective kind of going through as well, but I mean, I'm not that overprotective. I'm just like, I'm just like, have fun, and when you get your finger caught in a light socket, don't shout for me. I've already warned you about that. Ah! Oh, shit. There we go. But he's severely pissed off about it, and Sky, of course, has heard about it as well. But as that's going on, they're like, "Ah, shit! Look at what's going on." He's like, "You better be good because we're having this talk." Oh, it's raining space dragons. That's not good. I'm like, yes, Johnny, that really is not motherfucking good because the Dark God is coming to clap Earth's cheeks. Ugh, that ain't good, man. So, all hell then ensues. They're trying to figure out what's going on. Reed and Ben are like, hey, listen, Cap's telling us this is Venom related. We kind of have to handle this shit. Johnny, of course, tries to use his flame powers, and it's not having the desired effect. It's like, isn't this the rules? I've usually, like, kicked a lot of symbiote ass with this shit. And she's like, well, the rules have changed. So Sky, at first, was, like, going off and pretty much going to protect the neighborhood that she has kind of become the local hero for. And they're trying to figure out all these things. They're trying to stop what's going on. Of course, Reed's trying to figure out what he needs to do. Same with Ben. And they get into a position where Johnny's pretty much like, yeah, he pretty much directs Spider-Man to go to Yancey Street because Reed's doing his stuff, and they're to do some kind of thingamajig. Ben, of course, is talking with Miss Marvel about this, and Miss Marvel's like, wouldn't it be better here? Also, Mr. Fantastic had you... I did like the line where Mr. Fantastic was like, hey, I call myself Mr. Fantastic. I'm not known for subtlety. As he shoots off the the Fantastic Four flare to get him to know where to get to regroup. But Franklin and Valeria and the rest of them are pretty much tasked with protecting the Forever Gate because it could be the only thing that could help them get survivors out, because it is actually pretty important to have that kind of technology when a Dark God is trying to encase the entire Earth in a symbiote shell. While they're pretty much then just kind of that part is done for the issue, we see that Johnny helps out Spider-Man, does his kind of like Nova Burst, and then is like gone. Susan's like trying to figure out what to do. So I was like, we're bonded, he's down there, he's cold, he needs help. And she's like, listen, your magic bond is bullshit. I don't know what it is, it's alien tech, but it's bullshit. And she's like, no, I can feel him and everything. And then, of course, Johnny is getting nullified, and because he is getting nullified, it also goes through the bracelet as well, and turns her into symbiote nullified Sky, who is freaky-ass looking, and is pretty much just really sassier, talking about like, oh, Susan, don't ghost me. I'm like, I can understand those kind of jokes, and I can kind of accept them to a degree, but that one was like really close to being like not funny. I'm like, it's just that dude, that meme of that dude, like, and nothing Susan's doing is really like having too much of an effect on her. And she's like, I'm fucked up. She also uses her ability to talk with birds and everything to call on the symbiote dragons. And she's like, how do I get out of this? Nova Burst. And then she uses her FF flare to pretty much blind them momentarily. She kind of solar flares Krillin style to get her ass out of there. She does. She's able to regroup with, of course, Reed. And they're just trying to figure out their next kind of stuff. He's, of course, built an amplifier to get a signal to be stronger while at least they're encased in the symbiote shell. And they're able to get in contact with Ben. And he at first seems alright, but we see at the end that he is nullified. He's coming to their position to fuck up some shit. So, overall, I kind of would have rather had one story or the other kind of going, like start bang off into what's going on with the symbiote stuff, or for the whole kind of thing with Johnny and Susan going on with Sky to have more of a thing going on, because I'm interested to see more of Johnny having all that friction and Susan having that friction with who he's dating, because of how strange it is. Now, granted, it's strange, but not really within the realm. It's like par on course for what happens with Johnny with dates and girlfriends. So, him getting nullified and her getting nullified is pretty much par on course. So, we'll have to kind of see how this kind of like shakes out and how this tie-in stuff with the King in Black kind of works out as well. So, those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.